Happy Friday, everybody out there in SquirrelTribeville. I don't know. My brain was thinking of Whoville, so we went SquirrelTribeville. Hopefully you guys are having a good day so far. I know it's early as all get out. Is 8:15 here Central Time. So where are you guys at? Like 9:15 Eastern. And then you got some Pacific and some Mountain stuff going on. And it's like 7 and 6 in other places. I know it's early. But thank you for being here. For those of you who are here, for those of you who are watching it on replay, hopefully you had a good morning as well. This is... okay, so... I am either a massive glutton for punishment or I do really stupid things. That's what I'm going to go with, because we've talked over here about how social media, we talked about this just day before yesterday, I think, how social media platforms lately feel like walking into the pit of hell. Like that's what it feels like. You open up a platform and you're just, it's like you're smacked in the face with all this BS to start your day. Maybe that's my problem. I should not open my phone to start the day, but as a YouTuber, it's freaking habit, right? You wake up, you get out, you check your phone, see what time it is. You make sure your kid's awake. That's the first thing I do, really. Then you get up, you make your coffee, you sit down. And you're thinking to yourself, a lot of times, as you take your first sip of coffee, you're thinking, man, today's going to be a good day, or you want it to be a good day. And then you open your phone, your iPad, your computer, your TV even, and you are immediately, whatever you see first thing, and I know this for a fact, whatever you see first thing, generally speaking, is what determines your mood for the day. This is the dumbest thing in the history of dumb, but if my husband does not touch my arm or something when he wakes up, it immediately puts me in a bad mood. That can sound stupid, but it is the way it is, because for 17 years in the morning, the first thing he does is he'll reach over and touch my arm. If I get up before him, he comes out of the bedroom, he comes over and touches me some way, shape, or form. Just, that little bitty physical contact is enough to brighten whatever mood I may have. I could have woken up on the wrong side of the bed. I could have had shitty dreams. I could have had a really bad day the day before or at the end of the day. But that one touch, it fixes everything, right? So the other thing is you open up your phone, whatever you go with first, also has a tendency to change how you feel about the day and what's going forward. And you want to start your day off in a positive note, right? You want to, but I swear it's like you can't anymore. Not because of you, not because of me, but because of what we are shown. The algorithms on the social media apps are absolute dog shit. There are going to be people out there who all they do is search for positive, right? All they do is search for positive, and yet all they are is shown negative. And so that's what happened to me. Listen. I opened my phone like the dumbass that I am, and I went to X first thing. I know better, and yet glutton for punishment that I am, I did it anyway. I open X, and I'm not going to show you the video, and I actually feel bad telling you about the video because it's going to incite just this soul rage that you won't know what to do with. But these are conversations that I think it's important to have because it goes in line with the whole big picture of everything, right? So I open X and I don't search this kind of stuff. I don't look for this kind of stuff. I'm not subscribed to this kind of shit. And yet I open X and the first thing it shows me, y'all, the very first video it shows me, there's a couch. And there's a baby laying on the couch. There is a grown-ass man here. And then over here, there's a toddler, maybe a 3 or 4-year-old child. I couldn't tell if it was a boy or girl, short hair, couldn't tell. And this grown male adult is taking, those big pillows that come on couches, like they're the cushy ones that you lean on? He's taking this pillow, lifting it into the air, and slamming it down onto this baby on the couch. To say that if I could have jumped into the phone to get my hands around that man's neck like that, in a heartbeat, I would have done it. In a heartbeat, I would have done it. And he did this 3 or 4 times. At this point, the toddler who is standing here can see that something is wrong, can hear the cries of the baby, and so goes around the man, who I'm assuming is the father or the boyfriend of the mom, one of the two, and goes and lays on top of the baby to try to protect the baby. So then this man continues to pick up this pillow and is now slamming it into the back of this toddler's head, who is trying to protect this baby. And this toddler, who is, like I said, maybe 3, maybe 4 years old, not strong at all, picks up this baby, to try and walk away with this baby so this man can no longer hurt this baby, and this man is still trying to hit them with the pillow, and then they go out of scene. The problem here is somebody set the camera up for that. This was done on purpose. That is where the whole issue comes in. That's not the whole issue. Obviously, there's a ton of issues here, but it's rage bait. And that is, I'm seeing that everywhere. I'm seeing that everywhere, where you open up a social media, you open up a news article because of the headline, you turn on the news, all these different things. It feels like we're being rage baited. Like they want us to go through the day extremely pissed off. And because you take that energy with you, if it starts at home, you take it out with you to work, you take it with you into traffic, you take it with you wherever you go. And it's absolutely ridiculous to me. So I had to go and say, one, report this shit, because so report it, then block that, then try to mute everything. And I'm like, I want to be able to get on these platforms because there is a lot of positive on these platforms as well. There's a lot of information on these platforms, especially on X. You will hear things first over there before you're going to get it on YouTube, before you're going to get it through mainstream media, before you're going to get it on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, any of these other things. Well, maybe TikTok, but X seems to be the very first place that you can get information. So that's the first place I normally go to see what's going on. And yet, instead of being able to find anything important, the people that I'm following and the things that I search up have absolutely nothing to do with the stuff that is being shown to me. And we talked about it a couple of days ago. I'm being shown all this race divide stuff. I'm being shown this rage bait stuff. And it's like, why are you trying to ruin my day? Why are you trying to put me in this mood? Because then you have to work double hard to get away from that kind of crap. Like, it's ridiculous to me. So then my husband's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, not really, because this, and I don't show it to him. I'm like, there's no need to share this with you. I'll tell you about it, but I'm not going to make you physically see it. I think there's a difference between hearing and physically seeing. Hearing it is enough to make the rage boil up inside. Seeing it is enough to make you contemplate, definitely needing that bail fund because you will be taken to jail for murder. Like, that's the difference between hearing and seeing, I believe. But they say, what is it? Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Y'all, I don't lie to you. It was the worst video, I think. I'm sure there's worse videos out there, but lately that is the worst thing I have seen because I have a very, very low threshold for tolerance when it comes to anything that harms children or harms the elderly. People in the middle, I feel like we can take care of ourselves. Children and elderly are in a completely different field here because there is less ability to defend yourselves. When I see these videos, and I don't know why, it's what the algorithm does. It shows me these videos of people in wheelchairs in a nursing home and the nurse smacking around this lady. And it's shown to me for race bait and rage bait, like a combo, because I ordered that or whatever. And it's crazy to me. So then I'm thinking to myself, well, at least, we might not like the politicians that we have around. And I don't agree with the left on a lot of stuff, but at least they're not out there rage baiting people. And then here comes Chuck Schumer to rage bait the shit out of everybody. Well, technically, I think it's baiting the Democrats to be angry at Trump and everything. And it's baiting Republicans to be angry at Democrats. It's this whole circular just shitstorm is what it comes down to. So my husband sends me this. He sent me this thing. He goes, if Chuck Schumer started a YouTube channel, it would be all about hate, which is true. And he said, all he does is try and scare you about shit that's not even real or will never happen. And that's also true. So then I pull up this thing on X, and it says here, and this isn't like a maybe this one isn't rage bait, but it pisses me off. It's piss off bait. That sounds stupid though. So in April, Chuck Schumer warned tariffs would be a disaster and cost families about $5,000 a family. You guys remember when this was going on, when President Trump started talking about how he was going to implement these reciprocal tariffs and do all these things, the Democrats immediately were like, oh my gosh, you're going to make it so expensive. Nobody in the United States can be able to afford anything. All the businesses are going to close and blah, 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 blah. And yes, some businesses have closed, but that was because of everything that's happened in 2024, nothing to do with 2025. A lot of that was because of the Biden administration and the taxes they put on businesses and all these other things, right? So he puts this up, and here's what's crazy to me. In reality, inflation fell to a 4-year low just now. I don't know, like in the last month or so, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but inflation fell to a 4-year low. Gas prices fell for the 3rd month in a row. Even I was wrong. Remember when we talked about there was that leak in the Keystone Pipeline in, my brain wants to say North Dakota, could be completely wrong, could be just pulling a state out my ass, I'm not 100% positive, but there was that leak randomly in the middle of nowhere in some agricultural land, and I was like, that's interesting. And I personally thought that the gas prices would go up. Maybe they did in that area, but they did not go up for everywhere else. So I'm glad I was wrong there. I thought they were going to use it as a way or a reason to hike up the prices, because that's what they do. Oh, there's a bird, it's got the flu, we should make sure eggs cost way more. Oh no, there's a fire in this one chicken coop, we should make sure chicken costs 5 times more than it did. Oh no, 10,000 cows all randomly died from heat at the exact same time in the exact same place, but nothing else died, just the cows. We should raise the price of beef. So I was worried that the gas prices were going to go through the roof, and they did not. Where I live, in the most touristy area of touristy areas, outside of Orlando, outside of New York City, and outside of Las Vegas, I swear where I live, it brings everybody and their mama here all year long. Gas prices, generally speaking, stay pretty steady until Friday. And then they shoot up 10 to 15 cents a gallon. And then on Tuesday, they drop back down. And then on Friday, it's like this small roller coaster of prices because, again, they know people will pay it because they want to be able to drive from point A to point B to either get here or get home or whatever, right? But the grocery prices had the biggest decline in the last 5 years, which is interesting because we had Biden for 4 years where grocery prices continued to climb, right? So this is, I just want to show you this small little video. It's all of a minute long. If I could get this to work, I just want you guys to take a little listen to Chuck Schumer. I'm sorry, I hate it. I do. I know it's going to make your ears bleed, but we're going to do it anyway.
This is one of the most disastrous and poorly thought out policies that the Trump administration has done thus far, and that's saying a lot. First, the disaster to American families is dramatic. It's estimated the average family, it'll cost them $5,000 more a year. Second, what it does is it makes everybody just worry about spending money. Businesses like certainty. And when there's no certainty, because Donald Trump has been so erratic, businesses hold back on spending, on training, on hiring people. And it's so poorly done. Do you know, Dana? This policy taxes penguins, but not Putin, because the herd and McDonald Islands are in the tax. All they have is penguins. Yeah. He leaves Putin alone. It's crazy. It's poorly thought out, but most of all, it's a disaster. One more point. Why is he doing this? To give tax breaks to his billionaire friends. They are all in that billionaire bubble. They just talk to themselves, and they don't know how badly they're hurting average American families.
Okay, so I would like to point out a couple things, and sometimes people don't agree with me on this, and that's perfectly fine. But you need billionaires to continue to be billionaires. You need them because they generally are the ones who are funding a lot of stuff in the positive, also sometimes the negative, Bill Gates, but you need billionaires to stay billionaires. If the people with the most wealth suddenly lose it all, it does not help us gain anything. It means everything is going to fucking crash. Like everything will go down. You need the billionaires. So there is that, number one. As much as we dislike a lot of them, they are necessary. But Chuck Schumer is a dumbass. At the end of the day, Chuck Schumer is a dumbass. He's sitting here saying it's going to cost families an extra $5,000 a year. Guess what I have not done since the tariffs went into place? Paid extra for anything. Literally nothing has changed. I was looking at a bunch of different websites last night. I jumped on Lululemon because people were talking about how China, what app is it? Red One? Maybe it's TikTok. I don't remember what app it was. They were showing how the Lululemon stuff, you could get it direct from China for like 1/8 of the cost. And then, you know, you're paying them instead of Lululemon. And they showed Gucci. They showed all these different brands, how they are made in China. So, you know, you ship it here, it's going to cost even more, blah, 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 blah. So I start going through a bunch of different websites that I know the manufacturers order a lot of their stuff from overseas, and none of the prices have gone up. None of the prices have gone up. Now, we're going to talk about Walmart in a completely different video because they are going to be the ones who raise the prices. They've already admitted it. We'll talk about that later. But at the end of the day, you have the Democrats out there screaming at the top of their lungs about how everything that President Trump is doing is trash and it's going to cost us so much more money. I haven't seen it. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm in a bubble. If y'all have seen it, please let me know. Gas prices haven't gone up. Electric prices haven't gone up. What else? My mortgage hasn't gone up because of tariffs. The car prices, technically, I have not seen the car prices go up. Ford was actually doing friends and family or employee pricing. I don't know exactly what it was, but I mean, you could go buy a new Ford for cheap as shit because they were giving you discounts because they knew people were worried about the tariffs that were coming in. Now, there's still going to be some obvious upticks in prices on certain things for certain things, but also if you don't need that certain thing, it doesn't affect you, right? The problem is there's a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of blatant lying, a lot of redirecting, a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of whatever going on every single side. Like a lot of people say, I do it wrong every time. Two wings of the same bird. Isn't that how it goes? Two wings of the same bird. Democrats, Republicans still stuck to the same bird, being the United States of America, where it's all the same thing, right? Isn't that how it goes? And it's technically true. There are a lot of Republicans out there that I think are absolute shit because they're technically rhinos, is what people will call them, Republican in name only, who seem to have more of a Democrat lean, right? There's Democrats out there, though, who are doing things that people would deem more Republican. Now, John Fetterman has been in the news a lot lately for being, looking like Lurch or a massive version of, what's his name? Oh, what's the bald one from Addams Family? Fester, Uncle Fester. He voted positively for some things in a Republican way, and then he voted negatively. He pulled the full-on Democrat card. There are going to be people on both sides of the aisle who agree with President Trump's tariffs. There are going to be people on both sides of the aisle who don't agree with it. A lot of people have their own agenda. When you hear Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren talking smack about anything to do with the pharmaceutical industry, it's because they have they're elbow deep in pharmaceutical money when it comes to what's in their bank accounts and who's really pushing their campaigns or whatever. It's a little bit crazy. So the problem that I have come across is that I don't like any of them. I think that's what it comes down to. I don't like any of them because I don't know who is trustworthy at this point. I believe that President Trump is doing everything he can for the United States of America. I trust him. I trust JD Vance as the vice president. I trust RFK a certain degree. I trust Tulsi a certain degree. I trust whatever a certain degree, because you just never know. They're all people who switch sides in order to help President Trump win. But then you have to ask yourself, is there a reason for it, right? The farther we go into this administration, I feel like the more we're going to see people that we thought were for us. And by for us, I mean the citizens of the United States of America. I feel like we're going to see more and more of them maybe backtrack or move around. But I also think you're going to see ones who were so far left leaning. I feel like you're going to see some of them even change how they look at things as the years progress under President Trump, because you can already see the positives that are happening. And now I do know that right now in the Supreme Court, they're going through talking about the birthright citizenship and how it's unconstitutional for President Trump to want to make it that if you're born here, you can't be a citizen. Well, I can't even pretend like I know exactly how the Constitution is worded with the citizenship thing. But if you have two illegal immigrants who cross a border just to birth a baby, so that baby then has citizenship, so that then they can, reap the benefits of a citizen, that's not okay, right? Now, if one of them is legal and they have a baby, that's different. That baby should have citizenship. But if both of them are illegal, they haven't gone through any paperwork to try to even get a green card, a visa, or anything like that, I My daughter played softball with a girl who was born in Hong Kong. Her parents are American. Guess what she has? United States citizenship. Guess what she does not have? Hong Kong citizenship. She happened to be born there, but neither of her parents had any ties to the country. They were there for work. She does not have Hong Kong citizenship. Just being born there is not enough. Why are we as a country willing to give citizenship to people born here when that's not how it works for the rest of the world? Like, we have to look at the way we do things sometimes and really think it through. And I'm not trying to be unconstitutional. I'm just trying to be realistic with how this works. If everybody that comes here, millions upon millions of illegal immigrants, whether it's from, south of the border or wherever else, if they all come here and have a baby, great for, the workforce in the future and, keeping the country going. But at the same time, that's bad because now your resources are going to pay for people who technically don't belong here. I don't know. That's it. That's all, y'all. Random. I'm aware. Fully random. But the rage bait thing this morning pissed me off. I needed to woo-saw it out of my brain. I wanted to mention Chuck Schumer because I think I dislike him more than anybody else on the left. I do not like Jasmine Crockett. I do not like Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. I do not like Kamala Harris. I'm not going to talk about AOC because I think she's a dingbat with tits. Like, what good is she? And I don't like, what's his name? There's a lot of people I don't like, but Chuck Schumer really does top it. He's right there at the top of the list of people I dislike. I feel like he needs to just go ahead and be gone. Like, but not like the way, was it James Comey and who else? All these other Democrats who are putting social media posts up of 8647. They are literally calling for the murder or end of life of President Trump. And this is okay. Like, I know you guys have seen this. I didn't save any of them because, again, it's just, I'm tired of saving the super negatives to talk about, even though we end up talking about it anyway, because it's interesting and important to know, but whatever. But the fact that they are literally posting up 8647, and some people are going, well, 86 could mean different things. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. At the end of the day, it means end. You're saying to end 47. Now they could go, well, we would just mean impeach him. I don't care what you just mean. When you put it out this way, everybody's looking at it as you're saying to take out the president, like 100% end of life kind of thing. The Butler, Pennsylvania thing didn't work. There was mechanical issues with this plane one day. There's been all these different things. Yeah. So 86 means kick out is what Mystique says, or Mystic. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. But when I was in the restaurant industry, 86 meant we're done with it. We're out of it, whatever. And it's not coming back. It's not coming back. It's done. It's gone. It's not coming back. To me, that means not just take it out. It means it is gone. And to me, I'm looking at it as a super negative thing. And they are asking for bodily harm against the president. And that feels treasonous, number one. And it feels like something that should definitely be looked into. But again, I don't know if that's that freedom of speech thing that, I don't know why I just did that, but the freedom of speech, because it works for some and not for others. But if somebody had done that with Biden, 8646, I mean, the left would have lost their minds and brought everybody up on charges and thrown them in a jail cell, right? But if the left does it, then it's perfectly fine. Rules for thee, but not for me. Kamala Harris. There we go. That's all, y'all. The positive for today is my daughter only has one more week of freshman year, and she has made it through freshman year unscathed, which I was worried about because y'all know kids are assholes. And now that there's social media, they're like worse in general. But freshman year has gone very well for my daughter, in case anybody wants to know or cares. I just wanted to end on a very positive note. She's got one more week. She's super excited about it. And then she's going to be a sophomore. When you talk about things like that, you really start to feel a little bit older. You're like, oh, okay. Okay, well, that's fine. I'd rather be older than not. So there's that. That's the positive and the silver lining of everything. So it's time for me to go home now and make some breakfast for the hubby and myself. I hope you guys have a fabulous morning. I'll see you again later. The Walmart video will be coming out later. If you guys want to watch it, you should before you go shopping. Trust me. I love you all immensely. Thank you for being here, and see you later. Bye. Adios.